have you decided to change the way that you communicate so you can be able to properly get the stuff done the way that you need to be done?
That's the problem. Most people don't think they're bad at communicating.
Yeah.
That's the bad part.
Yeah.
Most people think it's everybody else, and it's like, no, it's you. Um, and I think we all could be better communicators, right? I think
Hmm.
communication is something that,
Something that you develop over time. The
yeah, it's
older and
something
older
you're
you get, the better
always,
your communication skills will get.
yeah.
But
But
in order for you to seek the life that everybody want is that having a spouse, I don't care what nobody say. It's not nobody out here that's out here like you not dead ass serious talking about nah, I don't need no man, I don't want no man. No, you want a spouse. It's just at this moment you know that you're not ready for a spouse. That goes for man and woman.
mhm.
They know that they're not ready for a spouse, but instead of them holding accountability of saying that they're not ready for no spouse, they're just gonna say that I don't need this. No, you want it. You just not ready for it. There's other stuff that you need to work on. So are you changing to work on these things so you can get that spouse? Because you don't want to be in your 50s, in your 40s, and you ain't got what you seek for. Because that's how you get like adult crash outs out here. It's true.
I, I mean, yeah, no, that is true. That is true. I agree with that. I think that with that, that is like it's avoidance. It's
Mm-hmm.
avoiding the thing that you don't want to work for. So you tell yourself you don't want, right? And so it's like, oh, I don't want no husband. I don't need no husband. Yeah, because you probably are not somebody who is worthy of being with somebody for a long term. There's 9 times out of 10 something wrong with you to where you feel like you are not deserving, or you know deep down that you're not capable of giving somebody that. It's one of the two. Now, with most people admit it, probably not.
No, because it's accountability.
Um, yeah, it's accountability, and but if you weren't taught that, then how do you figure out how to develop that to hold your own self accountable? Because people just be like, oh, well, it's just life dealt me a bad hand. Did it? Or did you just not continue to see the bad things happening to you and find a pattern in that? And somewhere in that pattern, it was you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and whatever it is, whether it's with your kids, so I keep telling people, like, you can do as much for your kids as you want. It don't mean, no, somewhere down the line, you messed up. If your life is steady
In
in turmoil,
turmoil.
then somewhere you're the common denominator. So if you never look at yourself, and like when stuff is happening to me, the first thing I do is look at myself, like whether it's with my kids, whether it's with business, whether it's personal, I always look at myself first before. I rarely blame outside things for whatever's going on with me unless it's like really like, no, this is really what's happening. But even in that, I'm always like, but this is what I could be doing better, right? And I practice that mentality because it's easy to blame other people and things and entities versus taking a good look at yourself and saying, I could be doing this better. And really, because that's the first part of living intentionally. I think people don't understand how hard it is to be intentional about the things that you do and how you move and how you raise your kids, and not just going through the ebbs and flows of life. Because the ebbs and flows of life are easy to get caught up in. Most of the time, you don't even realize you're in it until you out of it,
Yeah.
right? Like, I didn't realize how easy life was when I was working, had my kids in school, like just going through that ebb and flow, how easy it was until now we're entrepreneurs. And I'm like, it causes you to be more intentional and like giving up my career for like to be at home and doing all the decisions I've had to make to be intentional, being the mother, being the wife, being like doing the things, make you be like, dang, I didn't even realize in those times how unintentional you can, it's easy to start living
Yeah.
because you're getting paid every 2 weeks or every week. Your kids, everybody, somebody is always setting a schedule for you. Or somebody's always telling you what you're gonna do. And even when you get the free time, you don't really have free time because you have friends, family, concerts. You have everything else
Then you
going
still
on.
gotta catch up on the stuff that you gotta do when you in
Yeah,
your free time that you can't do during the week.
yeah. So it's easy to get into Ebbs and
A
flows to where
cycle.
you don't realize that you're not living intentional. Like you look up, and that's how you find the people crashing out because you look up and your life is nowhere near what you thought it would be. And sometimes you delay things that are already going to happen. You delay the inevitable. So instead of you quitting your career at 30 and starting over to go pursue whatever you're called to really do, you don't do it till you 50. Now you crashing out because at 50 your life don't look absolutely nothing like what you wanted to look like, but it don't look like that because you delayed a change that was supposed to happen 20 years back.
Yeah, because that's when I decided to make my change in them 30s, the beginning 30s. I feel
Yeah.
like COVID pushed it, maybe. It helped it, it steered it
Yeah.
because of how everything was going. So it was like, I mean, at any time at this point, you could be put on the bench and not receiving a paycheck. So why would I sit there and let somebody dictate how my money gonna flow when I can actually just try to chase my dream and put ourselves in a situation to where we don't have to worry about someone turning off our money. We can find different revenues and different ways of making money.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the process of making that change, was it hard? Goddamn Skippy, it was hard. Like, but I think that's the part of change that people don't like.
Yeah.
It's the hard part. Are you willing to go through the hard part, through the hard season, through your famine season, in order for you to get to the glory days?
Yeah.
Because when everything is going smooth and dandy, it's easy to just sit there and stay up in that. But it's like to build real character is when you got to go through the ups and downs of everything. You got to your marriage on the line, like your life on the line, your paycheck on the line, like everything
Everything
is on
on
the
the
line.
line.
And it's like, did you build your character enough to be able to bounce back?
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people get stuck at that situation. A lot of people haven't built themselves up to be able to bounce back.
Yeah.
So that's why
Just to
they will
bounce
stay
back. Yeah.
comfortable
Yeah.
because they're scared of the bounce
Yeah.
back because the bounce back is hard because you don't know when it's going to happen, if
Yeah.
it's going to
If it's
happen.
gonna happen. Yeah.
That be the thing too. So it's like, are you really willing to gamble on yourself?
Mm-hmm.
That's even when it comes to changing. Like, you know that you've been drinking all the time. Are you going to stop drinking? Are you going to like the person that you are when you stop drinking?
I think that's what I think. Because again, I think change. I don't. Here's the thing. I don't think anybody willingly changes. Right. I could be wrong. That's a question y'all can answer. Do you think people willingly change in life, like just willingly, like they want to do it and they just do it willingly? Or I don't think people willingly change because I think everybody has to hit a wall.
Yeah.
It's not until you hit that wall is when you be like, dang, I gotta change. And everybody has a different point of hitting the wall. Some of us just need to tap it. Like me, I'm a tap, baby. I tap that wall. I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. Other people got to run dead smack into it and almost knock themselves out and sit in the ER. They in ICU because you hit it too hard. And now you don't have, and some people will still not change. Some people, it's forced. You don't have a choice. Life is going to make you do it, or you'll lose everything trying to avoid it.
Yeah, but I
Right?
feel like that's because you're choosing not to change.
Yeah,
I
you're
feel like
choosing
it's
not
levels
to.
to it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be in a situation to where you know you need to change, and are you going to change? Now, if it's for the best, that's when it comes into where stuff start happening to where it's like it's going to force you to start changing. Excuse me. But then even if you still don't change in the process of all this stuff that's happening to you, now that's when you hit this brick wall and it's like you ain't got no choice but to change.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think anybody willingly does it. Like, That's like the person who goes off to college and think they're gonna come back the same. You never go back to college and come back the same. This is not possible. But we never think that we gonna come out of college being different people, right? Something has to happen to catapult the change to why. Either you're tired of being broke, or you're tired of being sad, or you're tired of feeling like you're a child and you're grown up with kids, right? Or you're tired of people telling you what to do, or you're tired of going to work and you want to work, like you just want to find a way to make money to where you don't have to keep giving somebody your time.
You
Or
tired
you
of being a
just
Cowboys fan?
like even I'm not even wow. That's
Because they don't
crazy.
want to change. It's not the '90s, bro. Like, like,
Wow.
relax. Like,
That came out. That's just unprovoked right there. Like,
we talking about change.
woo, child. But no, like you, everybody has to just hit it, right? Like something has to happen. And like I said, some people can be tapped, and like that's that moment where you're like, okay, you got to change. I'm tapping you on your shoulder, friend, telling, hey, change is here. Are you gonna take me willingly, or are we finna do this forcefully? What we finna do?
Mm-hmm.
Some people see change and be like, yep, nope, not gonna do it. Some of us be like, okay, I'm gonna go with the flow. Let's go ahead and do this, right? Because you have to weigh who you're gonna be and who you are, right? And sometimes when you're in the midst of change, because it requires so much consciousness.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can be in the middle of the change and be like, I remember the girl who used to drink all the time. I remember the party version of who I used to be. I remember the nonchalant, non-caring. Like you remember old parts of who you used to be that you didn't see nothing wrong with that. You were fine living your life like that until you start to see how it's affecting in other ways, or how it could potentially affect in other ways, right? Which cause you to change. But that doesn't mean that you don't sometimes miss those older versions of you. That doesn't mean sometimes you don't question the change that you are now in or transitioning into. And that doesn't mean that you don't always fear the person that you are going to become. And sometimes that will scare people enough to make them be stuck.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, everybody just does not change. Some people avoid it their entire life, and things continue to happen to them. Will they have moments of comfort? Absolutely.
Yeah,
We
everybody
all
get
have
their
moments of
moment to
comfort.
shine for a little bit.
But there just is always something internally in them that are not at peace. I don't even want to say happy. They're just never at a peaceful state, right? Internally. I'm not talking about financially. I'm not talking about what you have, like monetarily or physically. Like I'm saying like internal peace. Like I'm content with life right now where it is, even though everything in my life is not perfect. But most of us, well, most people will not do that because it is scary going through that tunnel. Like change is like a tunnel. You see it, you don't know what's in it. You don't know how long it runs. Like you don't know when you gonna get out and see the other side of the light. Like you like how long left we got in this tunnel, and you don't know who you're gonna be when you come out of that. You don't know if you're gonna have food in this tunnel. You don't know if you're gonna have uh things to help you survive in this tunnel. You don't know if you're gonna have protection. You don't know. So that's gonna cause internally things to change in you. So by the time you get to the end of that tunnel, you don't really know who that person gonna be.
Yeah.
And that is scary within itself because now you have to learn how to love a new version of yourself. And people don't talk about that. People don't talk about learning to love the new version of you and being able to appreciate the old version of you because you still needed that person to get where you need to be. It's learning the lessons that you needed to learn throughout all of your life to get to who you're now supposed to become. But that is not an easy process. And I
No,
think
it's not.
people never talk about the fear of becoming. We all talk about becoming, but we never talk about the fear of actually doing it. Like when you hit moments and you're like, I'm really doing it, like that's scary. And like, who is this gonna make me become? Who is this gonna make me be? We all talk about, I get money, I become famous, I do this, I do that. What am I gonna be? Who am I gonna be? You're never gonna be the same. I'm gonna be the same. You're never gonna be the same. And if you are the same, that's because you avoided change. And either you're gonna be unalive avoiding change, and you're gonna probably go unhappy spiritually, or you're gonna be the person in 20, 30 years that is having a mental breakdown because something has forced you to, it's too late.
Yeah.
Like, people always say it's never too late. No, sometimes it is, because now you have 20, 30 years of stuff to catch up on. Who want to do that? I
Yeah.
might as well just stay who I am, because how are you going to catch up?
No, that's true. Because I feel like if I didn't make the big change and it was more so like shedding the what I thought made me me, and that's with like having hoes and all the extra shit that comes with it. I feel like if I didn't make that change, then I would have lost every single thing. Losing my family, Nisha, amen. But like, yeah, but in general, losing my family, losing business opportunities, all these different things. So it's like if I didn't make that big change, I don't know where I would be at this moment.
Yeah.
Now, that's not saying that I'm not happy about my change. I'm actually happy about my change, and I'm actually grateful that I was able to see that that was a problem, and also realizing that that was a burden on everyone, not just because I was comfortable with it, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't a burden on your shoulders or even a burden upon my kids' shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
So, like on the outside
Yeah.
looking in now, as I'm getting older, it's the understanding part that, like, yeah, well, the change was for the best because
Mm-hmm.
I'm more level headed. I'm more able to be connected with my family in the way that I'm supposed to be, the leader that I'm supposed to be, and actually setting the example that I'm supposed to be setting for my kids.
Yeah. And that's the part.
And also being able to trust my wife the way that I need to trust her so she can be able to help me and guide me through the changes that I do go through, or also just help and guide me through like everything, life, family, business. So it's like if I didn't make them changes, then it's like we don't know where we would be at.
Yeah.
And I think that was more so the scary part about it, because it was like in that time, in that season, it was like you can continue to do this even though that you're having fun and there's nothing wrong with it. You can continue to do this, or you can change, and it might get much better than what it was when you was doing this. So it's like, which one you gonna pick?
Mm-hmm.
And it's also a choice, because that's the
Change
thing
is a
about
choice.
change. Choice is a choice. Is you could choose to go through this. You could choose. Make Morpheus said it the best. You can pick the red pill or the blue pill. Which one you
Yeah.
want?
That is true. So all I get the why I understand that movie, baby. They had a point. They had a point, because you do have to choose. No, because sometimes, like I said, sometimes you don't see what, you don't have a problem with who you may be in this season, but that doesn't mean that things aren't affecting other things in your life. And also, you're being intentional in showing up as the person you need to show up as for your kids, because they are watching. So if you have certain characteristics about yourself that you don't necessarily want them to have, but you're doing the things, and guess what? They're gonna pick it up. They're definitely gonna pick that up. So it's being intentional in really choosing who you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can continue to do all the things. I could like, and it might be fun for now, but you don't know how fun that's gonna be in 10 years when you're sitting by yourself. Like, or you constantly going through a rotation of people because you can't, because this is what you chose. So now, is it still fun? That's the thing about change. If you don't know how, everything gets tiring at a certain point. Everything get played out, everything get old, at least it should. You should get tired of the hustle and bustle of what things have always been. If not,
You the problem.
Yeah, you being real toxic.
Well, yeah, like you're not tired of the Cowboys shit. Like,
Like, really, I can't stand you. I can't stand
like
you.
dang.